Welcome to another episode of the Animoguls. I'm Megabucks.
And I'm Tycoon. And today we're going to be discussing Redheads from the spectrum of the Disney, Pixar, 20th Century Fox, and miscellaneous animation houses.
Redheads are a rarity in the real world, but surprisingly, you'll find a lot of animated characters who are redheads. If not main characters, then side characters. I mean, who knew that Big Daddy from The Princess and the Frog was a redhead? I didn't.
Yeah, me neither, and I'm just coming to terms with that one myself, Megabucks. So, Big Daddy, he keeps his hair orange. I mean, it's more on the orange side, but I guess you can classify orange-haired people as redheads.
Yeah, I really have a problem with this classification. They should be called orange heads. I would like things to be really, really logical, but regardless of what they're called, Big Daddy, he doesn't have much hair. He's sophisticated, he's got a bit of a mustache thing going, he's a man of the world. He loves his beignets. Tiana supplies them for him. And, I guess Lottie takes after her mother, which is unfortunate, because I think she would have looked really nice with orange locks.
So, who do you think is the most notable redhead of all time? I'm gonna have to say Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
I was actually saving Ariel for last, because she's my favorite. But yeah, Ariel has the best red hair of anyone ever. Actually, Ariel has the best hair, period. It's just so perfect. It's swishy, it flows, she's underwater, and it's just a beautiful bright red. There's just no way to go wrong. It's hard to believe that when they were first making Little Mermaid, everyone wanted Ariel to be a blonde. And they just gave that to her sisters, and look where they ended up.
Yeah, nowhere. They ended up nowhere. But yeah, I think it makes her stand out the most from Disney princesses, because none of the other girls since Ariel have had red hair. And I mean real red. I'm not talking about the girl from Enchanted, Giselle. Yeah, her 2D self, she showed up for like 2 seconds, but she didn't even really have red hair.
Yeah, Giselle, her hair, it wasn't curly, it wasn't really straight enough. She was syrupy sweet, but she liked cockroaches. I have nothing to say to Giselle. Nothing. I would just like to add that Ariel's hair color suits her personality. And I think that the reason that they haven't had any other redheads is because no one can pull off that hair color but Ariel. Case closed.
And speaking of curly-haired orange people, if I were Merida, I would love to lie down and sleep in my hair. Make a fort out of it. It's just really thick, bouncy, curly. It's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Entangled, that movie title should have belonged to Merida. The bravery thing, she didn't have that going on so much as she did tangled hair. I mean, that was Merida's thing. Love the wild curls, especially when she's young. She has this tiny head, tiny body with a huge head of curls. It looked adorable. It's nice that they said it in Scotland too, not like Jessie from Toy Story, where, she's just a redhead for kicks. They just threw that in there for fun.
And I think it really helps Merida's frame. I mean, her face, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but it looks like a giant beach ball. And her neck, it's like this thin straw, so she looks really round in the face. The curly hair, it helps offset that weird look that the Disney animators and character design people, they failed at.
We here at the Animoguls have noticed repeatedly that Kim Possible, who was created by Stephen Silver, she's got that beach ball face that Merida does. Unfortunately for Kimmy, the straight hair does nothing for her. But Merida's curly hair gives her dimension, and it gives her face the slimmer line, which, quite frankly, Merida needs.
And Jessie from Toy Story is like Merida's sister from another mother.
Definitely. Pixar can't seem to animate female characters differently. They all have the basic beach ball-sized heads, they're redheads, they have blue eyes. I mean, try something different, Pixar, please.
And Anastasia, though she's not from Disney, she's also a prominent redhead in the animation world. And sometimes it seems to me that her hair switches from red to brown, from brown to red, and back. But on another note, her leading man, Dimitri, he suffers from the exact same problem.
That's the least of their problems. Sometimes you even see their hair changes length throughout the film. I mean, Anastasia's hair changes for sure. I don't know what's going on. She cuts it in one scene. The next scene, it's reaching till her knees. But, Dimitri and Anastasia have almost the same hair color. You'll notice in scenes where they're both standing together, they give him one shade darker to make them look different. But, when he's on his own scene, he has the same hair color she does. I don't know what was up with that. I mean, are they trying to imply something here?
Oh, definitely. I mean, could they be related? I don't want to go there, but I mean, I just want to say that if I was the hairstylist on the set of Anastasia, I would have to fire myself because I am doing a pitiful job.
So, wait, Tycoon, you don't like Anastasia's hairstyle? Because I actually like Dimitri's hairstyle. Even though Don Bluth used the same hairstyle for every male lead he's ever animated, with Dimitri, he finally got it right.
And Thumbelina and her boyfriend, that other one that Don Bluth's responsible for, they're both redheads too. It's like, how many times when you have the same hair color combination couples?
I think where Don Bluth is concerned, he thinks that redheads are going to go extinct. So he's trying to pair up as many of them as possible to make sure that they survive the apocalypse.
Yeah, apparently Don Bluth is also trying to repopulate the earth with Dimitri lookalikes.
He has white hair now, but I wonder if Don Bluth was once a redhead. I mean, I've never seen pictures of Don Bluth in his youth, and I like to think he had Dimitri's haircut, and that was his inspiration. Quasimodo is next on the docket, and I love Quasi. It's really interesting how he's descended from gypsies, but he's a redhead. I mean, that really confused me.
Yeah, me too. I think what they were going for was to try and make him stand out. Make him as odd-looking as possible. It's already controversial enough that he's a gypsy. Let's also throw in the fact that he's a redhead. Everyone else in town is either a brunette or a blonde. Look at Quasi. I mean, it's no wonder that Frollo wanted to keep him safe from everybody. Even though we all know what Frollo's true hidden agendas were.
You can tell Quasi wants a crew cut. I don't know how I know this, but he wants a crew cut. Especially after he sees a soldier, Phoebus, even though Phoebus doesn't even have a crew cut. But, Quasi doesn't have a lot of hair. He keeps it trim. He keeps it short. It's a good contrast, because Esmeralda, she's all hair. You can tell that Quasi kind of feels like maybe his hair was the problem. Why the relationship didn't work out. Maybe Esmeralda was just not into redheads.
Yeah, maybe Esmeralda was much like Flynn Rider, and she has a thing for blondes too.
I'd say that's a sure bet. What about those triplets and King Fergus from Brave? They were some awesome redheads. King Fergus was rocking a grey streak just like his wife Eleanor.
Yeah, I definitely liked how the triplets' hair was made up of what looked like giant pieces of cheesy popcorn, like 3 on each end. It really added texture.
Definitely. It looked like each of them had a meatball for a head, and it seemed that Maudie found it attractive, as we've discussed on the previous Brunettes podcast. But you need to go back and check that out, because I can't reiterate what's already been said. It's top secret.
Oh, hell yeah. The conversation continues in Disney Redheads Part 2.